Health es una banda de noise rock industrial oriunda de Los Ángeles, California, con cerca de 20 años de carrera, quienes recientemente se acaban de presentar en Bogotá junto a Pierce DeVille, y con motivo de su visita al país, tuvimos el honor de charlar con Jake Duzsik, vocalista y guitarrista de la banda, sobre su nuevo álbum Conflict DLC, lanzado el 11 de diciembre, sobre el concepto de sus videoclips, sobre su experiencia al componer para bandas sonoras de videojuegos y el trabajo de colaboraciones con artistas como Bad Omens y Chelsea Wolf. Esta entrevista fue gracias a Cristina Beltrán, con la conducción de Javier Valencia del sello colombiano de Metal HateWorks y la dirección de Iván Zainea. En la edición 160 de Sonido Libre Podcast, desde Los Ángeles, Jake Duzsik de Health.
All right. How you doing, Jake?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good, good. Where are you?
I'm in Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. Me too.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. As a complete body of work, how would you define Conflict DLC musically? And what elements does it involve or set it apart from previous albums?
I think that it is a modern industrial record that is evocative of the dystopian times in which we live. And what sets it apart in terms of the rest of our body of work is probably its aggressiveness and exuberance. There's a lot of up-tempo, more fun, in quotes, songs.
More fun, like...
I mean, it's a complicated thing for me to say because our band isn't...
Of course.
It's simultaneously fun and sad. So I think it's the most fun and saddest record that we have made.
All right. Got you. Okay, I want to talk about videos because definitely videos are a crucial component of Health's identity. Often they're filled with details that invite you to repeat, like you want to go over and over to see what's going on. And these 4 singles that you guys have released, there's one element that stands out. Is the last frame of every video that says, "You will love each other." Please tell us what's the meaning of that sentence within the album concepts and obviously the videos.
So maybe in kind of like an obsessive compulsive way, even, we've always liked symmetry and repetition in our work. And if you look at all of our album covers, we always do all the art. And we've done that from the very beginning, even when we self-pressed our own 7-inch. And the way we wanted it to feel was, for example, if you had a gallery opening and you put all of those on one wall, but you didn't put names or album titles, they would all feel like it was the same thing. They were connected rather than the standard way album art is done is the band or the record label contracts some artist to make something they think is representative of the band. And it feels very disjointed and not part of a continuous personality. So right. That slogan, "You will love each other," is something that we've stumbled upon in our earliest days when we were essentially like an art rock, noise, no wave, post-punk band playing shows in warehouses in LA. And we felt like that statement, it's sort of Dada-esque, right? Just what does it mean? Do I have to explain it? No, I don't think I need to explain it. It just seems strange and sterile and almost kind of cult-like, especially if you repeat it over and over again. But then as the band evolved and we started writing lyrics that seemed to have more meaning for people, and we seemed to kind of understand that some of the elements of the band were helping people with mental health struggles or to feel connected to something in an era when people are so incredibly isolated. We always put that at the end of the videos because it's like our tagline. But now when we put it at the end of the videos, it has taken on a new meaning, which is sort of a call to humanity, to maybe feel like you're connected to something. And I think that that's sort of the beauty of art, is that it's amorphous and it doesn't have to be so upfront. The meaning of it can change just by repetition alone. You repeat the same thing enough times, it changes its meaning. And I think that over the arc of our band, that slogan has become sort of something beyond what we could have ever imagined it meant. So,
and it makes so much sense with what's going on like lately, not only here in the country, but like there's a lot of turmoil. Like,
there's a lot of
going around, so that message itself is powerful.
We're in a global moment of a profound lack of empathy and lack of being human to each other, I think, in so many senses. So I think that that is something that I'm, as a lyricist, struggling with on the record, and we're struggling with just as people, not just guys in a band, and I think that we understand that everybody is struggling with that. Even people that are hateful and making bad choices and supporting the wrong things, or what I would think are the wrong things, are oftentimes in the process of trying to navigate isolation and pain and being programmed by fucking hate-filled algorithmic trash. And it's good to remember sometimes that you almost invariably have more in common with someone than what you don't have in common with them.
Right.
And I think that that's something that's very important to remember.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. That's something that we wanted to ask you. That's why we took it from every video. And it makes a lot of sense in terms of how subtle little detail of a piece of art can be.
Yeah, that's what makes art so powerful, I think.
It is 100%. When you guys are working on collaborations, like that's something that like grabbed my attention. When you work on albums like Disco 4, for example, and later you did a collaboration with Bad Omens and Chelsea Wolf. Do you usually meet in person at the studio at some point when you are like working on demos or sharing ideas, or how does the creative process look like when you're working on collaboration like this?
So you can do it both ways. Obviously, you can do it entirely remote, which is part of why we did 2 full double albums, because we didn't realize the fucking pandemic was going to last so long. Yeah, and we wanted to be able to be in person and together making an album. But the best way is to at least one point, like one day, be in a room together. So the 2 that you mentioned, for example, Bad Omens, Chelsea Wolf, for Bad Omens, we got to spend several days together in their home studio, getting to know each other, working on several different ideas. And that's obviously ideal. You want to have that connection of being in the room. Chelsea Wolf, we did the entire song in one day. And that's actually not that uncommon, where you get most of it in a day, but we did it together in a room in LA. And that's how I would always prefer to have it done. But then there's other ones where, deep pandemic, like the one we did with 9 Inch Nails, we were all in Los Angeles, but we were all doing conference calls, 4 different people, 5 different people on the phone, and we're all probably within a 20-minute drive of each other. You kind of work with what you have to. In this moment, it's easy enough to exchange musical ideas that you can do it without meeting in person, but it's definitely preferential to be able to get to be together.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just the connection and anything that the way things can flow when you are with people are completely different from what you can do through technology.
I think that the only way that it would be like the better way is if you were doing a collaboration with someone who was very strange and difficult to be around. Then it could be like, oh, great, I didn't have to hang out in the room with him. That guy's fucking crazy. But that hasn't happened to it yet.
Cool. I remember probably over 10 years ago, you guys did a soundtrack for video games, and I think in a way you paused your work as a band, meaning like releasing music, because you were focused on soundtrack for video games. How was that? How did you get into that?
Completely randomly.
Compared to just releasing music or writing music.
It's extremely different. We got into it absolutely randomly out of the blue. We had no idea anything like that was going to happen. And we were just kids, essentially, that were in a noise band. We happened to be in New York playing a show, and our manager at the time, or our label, said, Rockstar Games wants to take you guys to dinner. And we were like, okay, wow, that's crazy. That's the company who makes Grand Theft Auto. And we thought maybe they wanted to use a song in Grand Theft Auto, like the next one. And then it turned out that they were interested in us working on a game, and that evolved. They wanted us to do some of the music. It ended up we did all the music. It turned into like over a year of just writing music straight. And yeah, we didn't play any shows really or work on any other music other than that. And it forced us to grow and grow up really fast because we had to generate tons of music, hours and hours more than our entire body of work up to that point. And we had to satisfy notes and, be contributing to a product that was over $100 million to make the game, and millions of people are going to play it. So it was just a lot of pressure, but in a really positive way. I think that ultimately, when I look back on it, we paused being a band, but I don't know that we would still be a band if we hadn't done that game, because when you talk about the collaborations, like a lot of times when we would do a collaboration with an artist like JPEG Mafia or Ghostmain, how they even became interested in working with us was because they played that game, because it had such a much broader reach. So, yeah, it was a really formative experience in terms of the arc of our being a band.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's crazy. Obviously, that game opened like new doors, like new avenues, completely different environment for what you guys were before.
If you look at it now, I mean, our fan base are gamers. It's like 98% of our fans are gamers. And I think that came from that score.
Thank you, Jake.
Thank you so much.
Okay, see you around.
Have a great day.
You too.
You too.
Bye.